Willkommen, bienvenue, watcher. A pickups video. Been a while. I'm looking a lot grayer. I've been cultivating my beard. I thought, I'll go full on. But it's looking a bit wiry. Yeah, pickups video. I've actually got a big mound of shit. Some good, some bad, some, But I always say it. I'd like to not take too long, and I really mean it this time for two reasons. One, because I'm getting really bored of mentioning them, but them next door, the kid makes a lot of racket. I think he plays Fortnite. Excuse me, it's a bit dark. I think he plays Fortnite in that room there whenever he's at home, and it's basically him going exactly like that. And suffice to say, if I was going to try and make a video with that racket going on, it wouldn't be happening. No. I'm really bored of mentioning them, and I imagine you're pretty bored of hearing about them. So I'm holding my hands up now. I'm not going to mention them ever again unless there's like major developments, like I've gone next door and sort of stabbed their eyeballs out, or something like that. Not that that's incriminating myself, because I'd never do that. I'd never do that. So if they do turn up with no eyeballs, that's not me. It's someone else. I haven't incriminated myself. You look at my armpits. Oh, no, it's fucking too much. Screw it. See, I know them when there's not enough light, because it's all grainy. And the other reason I really want to not take too long is I really need a shit. That's just the genuine truth. So right, to be honest, I've looked at it, and I can sort of put most of this together. Not all of it needs its own individual explanations. Jesus Christ! Every time I make a video, I seem to get grayer and grayer. Look at that, Jesus! I think it's the Celtic blood. It's the ginger beard and the grey hair. I think it's sort of like a Celtic thing. Although, I don't know, it might not be. That's just an observation. Anyway. Right. Got some good stuff and some shit, like I said. I'm going to start out with music, because I think this last time, or the time before, I had some vinyl, didn't I? I bought some. Actually, I found some. Yeah, I found some like next to, like, sort of dumped, and it was like I scavenged it. And also, I did mention that I bought a record player. It's probably some sort of midlife crisis thing. I think it probably is. I'm approaching my mid-40s. Hence the beard. I mean, if I'd sort of shaved all the beard off and the hair, I'd probably look about 20. No, I wouldn't. But I'd look, my boyish good looks would sort of be revealed. But no, generally it is a midlife crisis. So I've bought myself a record player. I haven't set it up yet, because it's intimidating me, because it's sort of it's not just a matter of plugging it in and turning it on. You have to sort of do the counterweight thing and sort of the anti-skating setting, and it's intimidating. But anyway, I'll get there eventually when I grow some balls. Right, but yeah, I've been buying vinyl. First two, actually, they were just sort of a purchase. I think they were eBay purchase. It was one of those certain 20% off with certain vendors, like big vendors, and Music Magpie qualified. There's a couple of Music Magpie sort of albums I wanted. I'm doing which order should I be in? Doing this order, just to sort of start me off. I think it was around about the build up to the American election, and it was the stress. Not that you think won't affect us, but no, it does. But I was getting really stressed. So, in the end, I think I ended up buying quite a lot of stuff myself, sort of online at the time. And these two albums, sort of, I thought, fuck it, I'm going to spend some money. So I bought. It's the new Fontaines DC album. They're the sort of like the new big band, I suppose. Down the years, it's been things bands like the Strokes or the Arctic Monkeys. I think at the moment it's Fontaines DC. I actually really like them. I've never been an early adopter. I've always jumped on a bandwagon. Various bandwagons. And I think this is sort of like this bunch of the big bandwagon at the moment. But this is a really good album. I've forgotten which song it is. What is it? It's there's a song called. I don't belong is a really good song, and Televised Mind is a really good song. I don't belong. Which one is it? That's it. And there's a song that I've forgotten which one it is. It might be one of those. There's a song that repeats the line. Sort of life isn't always empty. You think normally a song would say life isn't always easy, but this bunch say life isn't always empty, and I quite like that sort of that edge of that slight sort of variation. That's quite dark, isn't it? Life isn't always empty. And this lot of my favourite. I've seen this lot live, and they're great. And this is sort of like a best of, just sort of start me off, because I realised how expensive vinyl is, and I thought best sort of like compilations are probably the best way to go at the moment, until I can sort of wheel and deal. But it's basically All That Glue by the Sleaford Mods, and they're great. If people don't know the Sleaford Mods, they're bloody ace. Hang on, shall I sit back here? That seems to be better. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, Sleaford Mods, bloody really, really, really sweary, about the sweariest band you'll ever see. And I think their masterpiece is Job Seeker. Look up Job Seeker on Jules Holland. Sleaford Mods, Job Seeker, Jules Holland. It's pretty much sort of a seminal piece of music. It's almost like performance poetry, stroke, not really rap. It's just like stream of consciousness, just blah, blah, blah. And their live acts is just brilliant, because it's literally they've taken that sort of the idea of that you see a lot. Two performers, one's like the musician, one's the sort of the vocalist, like the Pet Shop Boys or Erasure, that sort of thing. And they've sort of really sort of like stuck two things up to it. No, they haven't, not really. It's basically you've got Jason Williamson, who's like this sort of crazy ball of energy, like anger, and sort of spitting like stream of consciousness, rapping type thing, like poetry almost. And then you have Andrew Scott, I think that's his name. He's basically the musician, and all he does for their live acts is to press a button on a laptop, and just stands there bobbing his head, usually holding like a pint of beer or a bottle of beer or something. And you think it'd get old, but it doesn't. It's strange. They've been doing that for years, and it doesn't get old. Why not? It's just, I don't know. Anyway, Sleaford Mods. I really need shit. I can see it's sort of giving me a sort of nervous energy. Right. Only two more vinyls, but they're the same things. And they came from the same place, so I don't really know too much explaining. I've sort of been looking at vinyl in charity shops. This is before lockdown, because I sort of it's been. We've got about another week, I think, and then it's sort of back to sort of half-assed. Like shops are sort of open, but did I mention that sort of like I did mention about the kid? I have to sort of find a little. I would normally record at the weekend, but I have to sort of bide my time until I know that when they're not there, so I won't be distracted anyway. Yeah. charity shops. Before this last lockdown, I was going to quite a few. Like the odd, not too far out, as far as I could walk. And I did all right. I've got some proper banging scores here. These are actually, I didn't know how good they were. I was in a charity shop, saw them. These are vinyl. Saw them, brand new. They're both sealed, exactly the same thing. Tenner though, and I looked at them and just thought, oh, they might be worth it because sort of brand new vinyl albums for a tenner. Generally, you pay sort of around about 20 quid, 15, 20 quid, or upwards. And but I wasn't really that bothered. But I looked it up when I got home. I thought, fuck, and realised that these are actually quite uncommon collectible. And this was on a Saturday, so I thought I looked up the opening times on a Sunday, so if they were still open, and they said they were open at this particular charity shop. It was a Citizens Advice Bureau charity shop. They said they were open on Sunday, so I'll go down there first thing on a Sunday. And I went down there first thing on a Sunday, and clearly they'd got sort of like pandemic opening times that hadn't been updated on their website. So I turned up and they weren't open. So bollocks, and just sort of went home, as you do. I thought, yeah, they'll open on Monday, so I thought I'll go down on a Monday. So I went down first thing on a Monday, and then I think they opened about an hour later than they said they were going to. So basically, I was farting around, and in the meantime, I'd been on the Sunday. I looked through the window to see if I could see these records, to see if I could see them, to see if they're still there. And it looked like they weren't. I thought, fuck it, I'm going to go down anyway because I'm not going to miss this opportunity. Eventually got in there when they opened, probably about 10:30 on the Monday, finally, and they were still there. I thought, oh shit, right, nabbed them both. And there's a performer called Bat for Ashes. The album is called Two Sons. Bat for Ashes, Two Sons. They're tenner each, sorry, that side, tenner each. And these ones say promo only, not for sale. I'd looked it up on eBay, and at the time, a brand new one had gone for 150 quid. That was quite a while ago, so it's now that's no longer sort of on eBay. But the recent ones, sort of used ones, are sort of around about 45, 50. There's one new one that's gone for 70, and I've got two of the fuckers, two of them. One of them's got sort of like a warped sleeve. So, but it was definitely worth the farting around that I did. It was me. So, and there was a lot of farting around. So, but yeah, and with those other two albums, I've got like our record like postage cardboard sleeves that I can send these out because I don't really want it. I mean, she's sort of like it's like a cross between Bjork and Kate Bush, but not quite as good as either. Or it's like a newer Bjork and Kate Bush. I think this album's about 10 years old now, maybe sort of 7 or 8 years old. But yeah, it's sort of new modern vinyl. It's sort of where it's at for like making a bit of bunts. Right. Films, quite a big pile here, but I'll whiz through them because a lot of them aren't that interesting. And oddly, a few of these is just one of those weird situations where things that I would really sort of personally really like to keep appeared, were in charity shops. It's really strange. Like I've said loads of times in the past, that doesn't really happen. The vast majority of stuff you find in charity shops is, stuff that you don't really want yourself, or you might be able to sell on or something. But for personally me to keep doesn't often happen. And there's a few near the end which are, oddly sort of fitting for my own tastes. I don't really know how it came to pass, but it did. And there was one one sort of trip into one charity shop, and someone had clearly just dumped a load of their Blu-rays and DVDs in this one charity shop, and they were all over the place. And sort of, I thought, shit, and I ended up with a big pile like that. Right, this first one, I can't remember where this was. I think it came with something else, but I was sort of padding out one purchase. I can't remember exactly what it was. One of these, but it's basically The Master on DVD. You know, Paul Thomas Anderson. I've never seen this one. Do really like Paul Thomas Anderson. Not to be confused with Paul W. The bloke who makes really shit video game adaptations. I think he did a. Oh, actually, I quite like the Resident Evil one. I think he did Doom as well. He just generally does. That's his thing. Is video game films, and most of them are rubbish. But this is Paul Thomas Anderson. He made like Boogie Nights, and he's generally, I really like him. So I've never seen this one. It's a DVD. Like I said, that was sort of padding out a 3 for 2 or something, or like 2 for. I think it's 2 for £1 offer. I think this was the same. This was padding the Dreamcatcher. I think I bought this because I've seen this on Amazon. Thought, yeah, that looks all right. I think it's a Stephen King adaptation, and the cast is good. To be fair, Lawrence Kasdan, he's not bad. It's a good cast, but not a film that is, you know, it's got Morgan Freeman in it. Not a film that people ever speak about. But I've not watched it. But I saw it on sort of just skating through Amazon, just going, I might watch that, and I put it on my watch list, and it kept being taken off sort of Prime, so I'd have to pay to watch it. I'm not that bothered. So, but now I saw it in a charity shop, and it's not worth anything at all. But, and this one was sort of like a purchase because of, I thought I might be able to get a bit of credit with that, and I've made a couple of these boobs. I don't think a massive boob, not this one. I think I could get my credit back. I think this was 50p. It might be sort of like a. Excuse me. Sorry, my armpits again. Bit better. Still graining. I think this might get me £1 or £2, but it's one of the sort of publishers that are good to look out for. It's by the ICA, which is Institute of Contemporary Art. It's called Café Lumière, and it's one of the things that appealed to me was a homage by Yasujiro Ozu, who's a sort of like Japanese master. He made a film called Tokyo Story. I've seen a few of his films. They're all really still and just sort of controlled, and lots of static shots of people moving in and out of family scenes. They're all about almost about sort of repressed family emotions and sort of inner dynamics and things like that. And I think Tokyo Story I've heard mentioned as one of the best films ever made. You know, sort of in the realm of things like you know, Citizen Kane, that sort of thing. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, that. And I think I might keep it. I might trade it in. I don't know. I think it probably. I might double mid 50p. This one I thought was better than it was because I've already got this, and it's anyway. Spirited Away on DVD. These used to be good for credit, but I think they've gone down. This is 50p. It's the double discer, and it's not as good for credit as it used to be. These, I think, they've just been probably massively popular. So, yeah, still I should probably be able to double my 50p. This is a Blu-ray of a film I really, really enjoyed. I think this is one I watched on Amazon Prime a few years ago. Can't really remember much about it other than it's an Australian filmmaker. The guy who made Animal Kingdom, David Mickod, I think his name is, and it's basically an apocalyptic. I think it's some sort of like a. I can't remember exactly. I think there's water shortages and food shortages, and everything's really bleak and miserable. and it's got a good cast: Guy Pearce and Robert Pattinson. It's called The Rover. I can't remember exactly what it's about, exactly what happens, but it's that sort of post-apocalyptic sort of type. Yeah, it's really warm and like it's sweaty because it's in Australia in sort of like the outback, and everybody just sort of sits around and there's like violence and stuff. But I recommend this actually, The Rover. One I was sort of umming and ahhing about keeping because I've seen it and really enjoyed it actually. It's probably my favourite DC superhero film in recent years because most of them are guff. Shazam, really enjoyed this. It's had a bit of the sort of the Marvel fun about it. Just DC ones don't tend to be fun, do they? But yeah, I might keep this, but I don't think it's. Because I've had these for a while, and I don't think it's worth as much credit as it was when I first bought it. And this one, not massively bothered about watching this. I've seen the earlier versions, and with it's Hellboy. This is the new Hellboy with David Harbour. Although you wouldn't really be able to tell, he looks exactly like Ron Perlman when he's got all his gear on. But I don't know if this is meant to be better than the old versions or not. I'm not sure. I don't remember this getting it particularly good reviews. I think they were like, again, 50p each. And now this, actually, there's a couple in here which weren't in this pile. I think shall I do them first? No, I'll leave them to the end actually, because they're worth talking about. Like this pile here. No, actually, that one wasn't. That one's. This pile here all came in that big batch of films and Blu-rays that I mentioned. Again, went into a charity shop. It was a local one. There's one called North London Hospice, and they're slightly ramshackle. And I've done quite well out. There's a few around here, and I've done quite well out of them. And at this time, again, done all right. In order of whether how good they are, whether there's sort of some are keepers, some are sort of traders. Generally, the keepers are really worth bargains. The traders generally won't get me much. I think it's funny how that works out. The ones I really want to keep are worth decent credit, but the first one is I figured this wasn't worth much credit, but I think this is probably a keeper anyway. By a guy called Harmony Korine. He made a film called Gummo, which was big news when I was at university. If anybody has ever seen Gummo, I imagine it might have dated now, because at the time it was like, fucking hell, this is sort of shocking. It was about this sort of town in some like hick town in America, and it was all done in a sort of gonzo style, or like handheld cameras and sort of real actors, or sort of real life non-professional actors and things like this. And mixed in with proper actors. I think Chloe Savini's in it and a few other people. And it was like that. It was the film that we spoke a lot about when we were at university. We watched it. I think I bought it in MVC, and we sat and watched it. And like, it's the sort of film that you've seen Gummo, and you'd talk to the people behind the counter in MVC or HMV. And go, you've seen Gummo, everyone's going, go see Gummo. You've got to see Gummo. I ain't got Gummo. I thought I've only got Gummo on VHS. I haven't hooked my VHS player up for years. This one by the same guy, one of his later ones. I think Harmony Korine was seen as sort of like the new big thing, sort of the creative auteur filmmaking genius. But I don't think he ever really hit those heights. This was one. I don't think it was got particularly. It was probably more pretentious. It was seen as being more pretentious than anything. But it was one I would like to see purely for the fact it's by this guy who made this film called Gummo. And this one's called Julian Donkey Boy. It's got Ewan Bremner, who was Spud in Trainspotting. Again, Chloe Savini and Werner Herzog, the filmmaker. Who I can't remember what this is about. Shall I read it? Julian is schizophrenic. His sister Pearl is pregnant. Her father unknown. His pathetic brother Chris aspires to be a wrestling champion. His ex-army father rules a family with an iron fist. A gripping and moving journey into the heart of dysfunctional American family. Sounds like fun. But again, this is probably about a sort of a 10p. I think it was a 50p purchase, but it'll get me 10p credit once I've watched it. And these ones, I thought they might be worth more, but no, because they're just common. I think it's fun. This is actually a film I've already got, so it's not, it was purely for trading in. The Seventh Seal. So you think old and foreign, black and white and foreign, black and white in not in English. Generally, as a rule, should be good for buying to trade in to computer exchange for credit. Not in this case. This one will probably get me 50p or maybe £1. I don't know. Might double my money, but generally, as a rule, like there's a couple here that are good. Generally, no. But Seventh Seal, and actually, I could use this because this is the sleeve from my original copy, which got a bit sun fade, and you can see on the spine I've swapped it out. So, bingo! Everybody wins. Or it did have a purpose in the end. I meant to say. But, so yeah, Seventh Seal. Jules et Jim by François Truffaut. From the New Wave, Nouvelle Vague, I think they call it in France. I think it's about basically like a love triangle. Jules and Jim all fancy this girl, and again, this is a film. I think this is another one that's actually my copy got sun faded on the spine, and I swapped out the sleeve. So again, this is another one. I thought that might be worth more than it is in credit, but because again, this is a film I've already got. But no, again, it's about another sort of 50p odd. This one took a punt on purely for the publisher. It's called The New Wave. The publisher. The film's called The Headless Woman. Actually, sounds quite good. I'm not going to read it, but I don't know. I've never heard of. Oh, have I? Lucretia Martel. But again, I've got another film called Three Monkeys by the same publisher, and that's sort of like would have got me £7 credit, but again, it was a keeper. And this is about 10p. So again, a bad punt. Now this one's better. Jean-Luc Godard, Weekend. Again, I do like Jean-Luc Godard. I can't remember. I've never seen this one. I've seen a lot of his films. Never seen this one. I can't. I'm not going to read what it's about, but it sounds pretty nuts. Shall I read a little bit of it? No, won't. But Jean-Luc Godard. This is probably. I think this would actually get me some decent credit, but again, this is a keeper, so it's annoyingly. Last two from that bundle were the big sort of like shit. Basically pounced on them, put them in my little pile, and then sort of hoarded them like this and didn't let anyone touch them until I'd paid for them. So got really protective. Basically, the Kubrick collection, £4.50. The only one that's really missing is Dr. Strangelove of his and Spartacus. It's got Lolita right up to Eyes Wide Shut, and annoyingly, it's got Barry Lyndon. And I bought the Blu-ray the separate Blu-ray of that recently, so it's a bit annoying. But I've actually pretty much got this version, the DVD version of this, up in my little shelf over there. And so that would, because I can trade that in, and I can trade the separate Blu-ray in and just keep this, and it's got like a book and stuff. It's a really nice little pack. It's £4.50, which is a bargain. And for not quite as up its own arse, but not Stanley Kubrick is. I love Stanley Kubrick. There you go. Star Wars Complete Saga, £4.50. So, but tempted to buy this in Computer Exchange for ages, and the price kept going down and down and down and down. But never wanted to pay like 20 quid or whatever it was. But £4.50. So those last sort of up to about Julian Donkey by there, that all came in the same batch. So I was like, fucking bingo. So, last two films. I've done oddly well for box sets and anthologies and things because this was from the same place but a different time. Alien anthology. This is 175. So just shit. Basically, the first 4 Alien films. You know, the good ones up until I didn't mind Resurrection. You know, I like Jean-Pierre Jeunet. I like that aesthetic. That's slightly different from the other Alien films. But yeah. Anyway, it's £1.15, £1.75. Sorry, it was a bloody bargain, and I haven't got any of these. I think I've got Aliens on DVD, but not on Blu-ray. So yeah, I wasn't going to leave that there. Last two films, I think these were separate. One, I think this top one might have come in that big bundle, but I kept these aside purely because of they're keepers, but they're worth looking out for because I think they're both sort of 6-7 quid credit if anybody sees them. You'd have to remember them though because they're sort of I don't. This first one looks really good. I've looked up a trailer for it. Looks really good. Definitely my sort of thing. It's a film called Marketa Lazarova by Franciszek Vlasil. Turns out this is sort of get me about £5-6 credit if I wanted to trade it in. Oh, bloody hell! This was only 50p. So, but again, this is a keeper. It's a sort of from 1967. It's sort of like a medieval. Don't know. Set in the 13th century. Follows the rivalry between two warring clans and the doomed love affair of Mikolas Kozlik and Marketa Lazarova. There you go. Fun. So, even if that's not your cup of tea, if you see this, it'll be worth buying to trade in. And this one I did know more about because I know it's by Krzysztof Kieslowski. He made the 3 colours red, white, and blue. If you might be more familiar. This is Decalogue. I think it's based on the 10 Commandments. And again, this is another one that is sort of at the time was about 6-7 quid. I think it's gone down slightly, maybe about £4 credit. But this will be more common than that one. You're more likely to see this one. So if you ever see this, because it's artificial iron, you get those quite a lot. So Decalogue, keep an eye out for that because that will get you some good credit. Because DVDs are so cheap nowadays, and they don't. Most charity shops won't separate them out into sort of So you'll get, for every Harry Potter, you'll get, you might get one of these as well. So there you go. And another one I've remembered, keep an eye out. It's a film called Memories of Murder. It's by Bong Joon-ho, who's just won the Oscar for Parasite, and I think since he won the Oscar, the value of Memories of Murder has just gone straight up. It was always quite collectible because you can only get it on DVD. It's a good film, but since then I just randomly checked it one day, and the DVD goes for 30 quid on Computer Exchange, and the credit's about 12 or something. And I've got a copy, but I've found a second copy in a charity shop. They both came in charity shops, so if I can find 2 copies in charity shops, there might be more out there. It's called Memories of Murder, so remember that. It's definitely worth having. Right. Onto the games. This is what people are tuned in for. I'll put some timestamps which I've been doing recently. I've just mentioned. I said I wasn't going to mention this. I promise this is the last time. The the kid from next door. I've just seen his dad. He's going to go and get from school because that's what I've resorted to, having to scrabble around trying to fit in, like trying to find little slots I can make a video when I know it's going to be quiet next door. And so I don't normally, it would be the weekend, but I've had to sort of move things about so I can make a video. So I've just seen his dad get in his car, so he's going to go and collect him from school. So I reckon I've probably got about 15 minutes. You'll hear him. He'll come straight home and he'll whack on Fortnite because you'll hear him through the wall. Right. Shit. Right, games. Some decent charity shop stuff here. Not this one. This is a boob. This is a big boob. Don't know why. It's a 360 Guitar Hero game. Normally, not worth anything. And I did think of keeping this, but then I'd have to buy a 360 guitar, and apparently they're really expensive. So I thought, oh Jesus Christ, I might just take the hit or just donate it straight back to a charity shop. Basically, yeah, Guitar Hero game, and the only one worth having is Guitar Hero Greatest Hits, I think, the 360 one. I thought this one was, I couldn't remember exactly. Turns out it's not. I think it's about 20p credit, so I might take the hit. I'd basically get 10% of my money back. It's Guitar Hero Van Halen, so which is slightly apt considering that he's died recently. But I imagine this is really tricky when it comes to Guitar Hero. But I sort of thought that it's not a Guitar Hero you see too often, and I know there are a lot that you do see, like Monsters of Rock. I know I'm sure I've seen that. And a lot of them, you'll pay £4 in computer exchange for, and they'll get you about half that back. For some reason, this one we'd pay £4 for, and you get about 20p back. I don't know why that is, but suffice to say, it's not worth having. I'm just going to have to take the hit. This one is worth having. I think this one was open, brand new. Not open, sealed, brand new. But the disc was moving about, and I couldn't quite get it back into the slot. Not a console I've got, but it's PS4, The Escapists. I know fuck all about PS4 games. I thought this might be worth having, considering it was sealed. I think I paid £2 for it. It might have even been £3. I think it's £3, because the price was on the seal, the wrapper. And I think at the time I would have got my money back to trade in, but now it's actually gone up. So I think I waited, because I've been farting around trying to get my arse in gear to go and trade it in, but obviously I can't now because, no, I can. No, because most of them do still take trade-ins, don't they? You just drop them off. Or do they still not doing that anymore? But anyway, this would get me a £5. So, like I said, I know fuck all about PS4 games and sort of their respective trading credits. This one I knew more about. This was only 50p or £1, but the credit's not brilliant on this. But again, it's a trader. I've got this on a 360. This is the PS3 version of a game I've already got. Fallout 3 Game of the Year. I think I could probably double my money in credit on this. This one was from the same charity shop, the same day out. This is definitely worth it. Skyrim, the special edition PS4. If I had a PS4, I'd keep this, but I don't, so I won't. All for the credit, and I've got shit ton to trade in, and I don't know. I've definitely got over £100 worth of credit to accrue. Not that I'll be able to spend it, because I won't be able to spend what I've already got, and I've still got £300. So, oh well. But, I won't. I've bided my time. I've got 1,000 years to spend it, judging by it's the little. I've got until about 30/20 to spend my credit. But yeah, Skyrim was it special edition? Again, this is £1, either 50p or £1. So yeah, not bad. This is where the good shit comes. I've tweeted this picture. I took a picture of it. This was fucking bingo. Best charity shop score I've had in a year or so. I've had some good stuff in this last year, but this one was like, fuck. DS games. You do see, I mean, people who go into charity shops, you do see DS games, don't you? But if you see them from a distance, you get excited. 9 times out of 10, they're a brain training. There'll be a cooking mama. There'll be sort of one of those. It'll be generally kiddies games. Like maybe if you're lucky, you might get a Nintendogs or Professor Layton. But generally, you hope that they're going to be something better, and not more than 9 times out of 10. 99 times out of 100, they're all just stuff you wouldn't really want. This was that one time out of 100. 3 games. This is quite far and away sort of the lesser of them, but still worth having. This is actually the only one I'm going to keep. It's Hotel Dusk Room 215. Not a game I've got, but I think it's meant to be pretty good. It's a sort of like a point and clicker in it, puzzle game, mystery. Hotel Dusk Room 215. I might as well get these two out together. They do sort of exist together. And I thought, shit. One of these, there was actually 2 versions of it, but the other one was Italian, and it didn't have a manual. In hindsight, I probably should have got that as well, because the cartridge probably would have been in English anyway, and it's definitely worth it. Basically, it's for £1.50, Soul Silver and Heart Gold. So, fuck. I saw them from over the back of the front of the shop. I saw them over the back. I thought that's clearly going to be Nintendogs at best. And I got there and it wasn't. And there were 2 Soul Silvers, but the back of one of them was in Italian. I thought, nah, I can't be asked. I won't be able to trade it in. But I should have thought that the cartridge itself would have been worth having. It definitely would have been worth £1.50. But so this is about £85 credit. So fucking hell. Did sort of shit my pants at the time, sort of. But yeah, so I could get myself a really decent PS1 game for this, just for the equivalent of £3. Like I said, this is probably the best charity shop score I've had in donkey's years. Not donkey's years, probably this year. I don't know, but not too shabby. Not too shabby. It would have been nice if they came in the boxes, but I'm not going to get cocky. I'm going to look a gift horse in the visage, in the mouth. So yeah, right. Stuff I've bought online again, like the vinyls. Is that plural? Is that the correct plural for collective noun for vinyl? Vinyls, or does it all? Is vinyl a collective? I don't know. I'm wittering. Basically treated myself 3 times. This one, again, this was another Music Magpie purchase. I think it was about pretty much the same time as those two first records. Took advantage of the 20% off. I think I got it for about less than £20, which is probably just over £20. I think I've had my eye on this for a long time. It used to be a game that used to be on computer exchanges stock lists, but not anymore because it's American. It's basically a PS3 game. It's Drakengard 3. Used to be able to get this on in computer exchange, but for some reason, probably because it's American, they took it off. And these are really easy to get hold of. Like Music Magpie got loads, and if you can wait until one of their sales, you get some decent sort of get them for a decent price. Generally, they're a little bit too expensive. They're sort of around about £30, sort of 27, 30. But I swear, I used to be able to get this for cheaper, but I sort of basically fart-arsed around. Thought I'm going to bide my time. Maybe the price I'll see it for a good price, and it never did, and it sort of crept up. But generally, I think around about £25. I think I ended up paying about 20 for this, and it's meant to be a really. Is it by the same people who did not Neo? Fuck it, I can't remember what it's called. Nier. I was almost there. Nier or Nier Automata. I don't know. But I've had a few people recommend this before, and this was pretty high on my PS3 list. But so yeah, Drakengard 3. This two more games, an eBay purchase, and actually by auction. And I've not bought anything on auction in ages. This was a recommendation. This was a game I'd not really had on my radar, but I think a few people mentioned it, and I thought, oh, that sounds interesting, and it's slightly more than your average sports game. It's a PS1 sports game. It does have its own sort of certain appeals. It's basically a Namco Tennis Smash Court. It's got sort of hidden, is it not hidden characters? Like it's got Klonoa and, you know. So it's not just your bog standard sports game. This is a really nice nick. The interesting thing, not that interesting, but one of the things about this is that the guy who sold it on auction, I think I ended up paying 11 quid for it, just over 11 quid. But the guy who sold it on auction lives locally, and he was like just starting out. He didn't have much feedback, and he still doesn't actually. It's a seller called Dave Mick, and he's actually got some good stuff, and he's sold some really good stuff. But he's still only got like 23 feedback. People, leave feedback if you're happy with your purchase. People so often don't leave feedback, and it must be a massive ball ache for people who are trying to start out on eBay. But anyway, yeah, he lived locally, and I got a message after I paid for it, and he said, "Is it all right? I can drop this off, and I'll just refund you the postage." And he actually turned up the next day, and I thought he was just going to post it through the door, but he knocked on my door and handed it to me, and what a nice bloke. So if you're watching, mate, cheers. That's really sort of. I always sort of think a lot of eBay sellers just don't really give a shit, but it's nice when you sort of people like you see sellers who care about what they're selling. But it's a really nice nick. I haven't even buffed it yet, and I can, I can't really find anything wrong with it. It's got everything there. It's got manual and everything, all the business. But so yeah, so. That was about he refunded me £1.50 postage, so I just paid just over 11 quid for this. I think it's maybe round about the money. Maybe it goes from maybe sort of up to 15, something like that. But not your bog standard sports game. Last one. This took nearly 3 weeks to turn up. NIS America Europe. I think I saw something on Twitter about them. They were talking about all the games in their sales. And I thought, shit, that's one I'm interested in. And the price was that good that they kept going out of stock. There was two games at the time. There was a Switch game, a bit like Etrian Odyssey. I can't remember what it was called. I think it's a game that's got a PS4 version as well. But that was basically $12.99 down to $7.99 for a brand new Switch game, like essentially an RPG. An RPG Switch game, which is just nuts, $7.99. Or this one. This is one I wanted because I haven't got a Switch. I've only got a Wii, which might be a bit of a clue. It's basically the Sky Soldier for the Wii U. But also, as people will know, has a Wii version, and I've put the reversible sleeve on it. So basically, I'm just going to keep this as a Wii game. I've got a few Wii U games, but I haven't got a Wii U. Wii U games I've got basically gifts from Jedi Mind Tricks, which, cheers dude, cheers again, a few years ago now. But I can't ever see me properly getting a Wii U. I think I'll probably miss that particular boat. But I'll keep the games, and this is definitely one I want to keep because obviously it's got a Wii game included, which is meant to be the better game. I think didn't the Wii U version get a bit slated, but people said that the Wii U game included or the Wii game included is actually better than the Wii U game. And the cover's nice as well. So yeah, this was $12.99 with £5 off, so $7.99, and then they had another $2.50 on for postage, so it's about £10.50 in all. I think roughly it'll cost you about 20 quid on eBay, maybe slightly less. So it's definitely worth it, and they've still got some. Now they're selling it. It kept going out of stock, and it was back in stock, and they farted around, and this took about nearly 3 weeks to get here, and I'd waited 2 weeks, and I got into contact with them. They hadn't sent me a tracking number, which they meant to. They'd taken my money, and I asked them, "Excuse me, can you let me know? Can you give me the tracking number or something?" And then they spun me some bullshit about, "Oh yeah, sorry, we've had like stock issues or something," and then your game will be dispatched sort of next week at the latest, end of next week at the latest. Lo and behold, I got an email confirmation the next day that it had been shipped. So, so I think they're pretty much just covering their arses that they'd forgotten to ship it. But then they sort of said they shipped it, and then my tracking number didn't work, and then it turned up anyway. But so I can't be that annoyed. But I did have to nearly wait 3 weeks, and I did feel like I was being spun a line. But so yeah, Rodea Sky Soldier on NIS America Europe website. They've got it at the moment. Today's Wednesday. They've got it at the moment for $7.99. That's with a discount code. For a long time they have it $12.99. Then for some reason they put up to £1, up £1 for $13.99. It went back to $12.99. Now they're selling it with a £5 off code. So essentially, you get it for $7.99. But fuck knows what they're doing. But yeah, it's always a good place to look out for. They do have some good bargains on there. Rodeo Sky Shoulder. Right, I'm gonna let you go. It's over 50 minutes. I wasn't planning on making as long a video as this, but you know, it never works out that way, does it? So thanks for watching, and I'm going to call it a day here. The kid's not back yet, brilliant, but any minute now I'm reckoning. So, you know, and also I'm going to go and have that shit I mentioned. So cheers, thanks for watching, I'll see you later. Keep an eye out for some more videos. I promise I'm going to do something other than a pickups video. Always got the plans for it, always. Like PS2 collection video, or I'll talk about my game storage that I made during lockdown, first lockdown. But you know, I've got the best intentions, but laziness always, generally, takes hold. Fucking hell, I'm looking at my grey bits now. Shameful. Cheers, that's watching. See you later.